What the heck, Bethesda? So if you guys are watching the Xbox E3 conference live, you would have actually just seen, or I guess technically the Microsoft E3 conference, either way, you would have just seen that Bethesda dropped like the first official trailer for Fallout 76. The one we saw previously was actually a teaser trailer. This isn't a teaser, this is a real trailer. We see the world space, we see some new enemies, and just a lot of other stuff. So in this video, I'm going to do a rough breakdown of that trailer, give some of my reactions, my impressions, and some things you may have missed when you watched it because you're not spending as many hours a day researching this stuff as I am. So right off the bat, the trailer is beautifully made. I'm going to kind of be stopping and pausing a lot throughout it. So I'm going to have a link down below to where you could look at it. It's actually only on GameSpot's YouTube channel, not the official Bethesda YouTube channel for whatever reason as of right now. But again, it's really well done. I would just watch it in its entirety. First off, in addition, the regular Bethesda E3 conference is going to be in only a few hours at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9:30 p.m. Eastern time and whatever, tons of other times. I'm not going to convert them all. I'm going to be live streaming that and giving my own live analysis for that entire conference. So if you want to tune in, it will be only a few hours from right now. So the way this kind of all started is in the middle of the Xbox or Microsoft conference, Todd Howard walked out on stage and kind of explained some of the history Bethesda Game Studios, or Bethesda as a whole really, has shared with the Xbox platform. Things like backwards compatibility, modding for consoles, and just a bunch of other cool stuff. He also mentioned how Fallout 4 is coming to Xbox Game Pass. If you don't know, Xbox Game Pass is this thing where you pay a monthly subscription and get access to all of the games within that, and you can play them for seemingly unlimited amounts of time. And he also mentions that that is releasing today. That's cool, but moving on, we actually got some details about Fallout 76 that he only said verbally that aren't really in the trailer. One, that it is a prequel in case the Pip-Boy confirmation in the other trailer wasn't enough, and in addition, the map for Fallout 76 will be 4 times that of Fallout 4's. This seems to coincide with a lot of the leaks, and we'll probably get a more proper confirmation later today that seemingly Fallout 76 is going to have a big base building component, so probably a lot of massive settlements for you to actually build up using settlement mode. And he does officially confirm the setting is West Virginia, which was indicated by the teaser trailer but never explicitly confirmed. We only knew greater DC region. If you're wondering, that sign says USA Army property, no trespassing. Also right away, we kind of see that the power armor, or the new power armor from Fallout 4, is making a return. This seems to be taking place in 2077 when all of the bombs dropped in West Virginia or around West Virginia, which is pretty interesting. But we'll kind of get back into that in a second.
Years after our great nation began, we gathered together to honor the completion.
So this is of course the same kind of TV we saw from the Fallout 76 teaser trailer, as well as the same narration that we saw on that TV. It's all within Vault 76, which again we've seen already. For some of these they literally reuse the same clip, so I'm not going to go over them, but the narrator here is actually the War Never Changes guy, whose real name is Ron Perlman. Obviously he's making a return somewhat in Fallout 76.
A Vault 76. This sprawling underground shelter may have been engineered by Vault Tech, but it was built by you. So that if the bombs do come, our way of life will endure.
Almost heaven.
So right off the bat, this is very different from Fallout 4 or any of the other Fallouts. This is way more green, there's way more kind of foliage, trees, high grass, and it looks very pretty. So something I was touching on before, seemingly this area isn't directly affected by any of those bombs dropping. Maybe they were kind of dropped in the distance. West Virginia overall is a very rural region, and it wouldn't be a target like some of the major cities because there aren't too many major cities here. Obviously, if this one's only 25 years after the bombs dropped originally and they actually hit this location, it probably wouldn't look like this. Trees don't grow that fast.
West Virginia.
So this is just a nice overview shot of the world. As you can see, it looks super lush. It literally looks like many of the green mods like regrowth overhaul we had for Fallout 4. Something really interesting, a lot of those mods had a heavy hit on your performance. Hopefully Bethesda resolved this in some way. Obviously they don't want their game lagging or being under 60 FPS on consoles, but that's one of those things we probably won't hear about it until we actually get to play this and experience it ourselves.
Blue Ridge Mountains.
I can't really make out what some of those more distant buildings are, but I'm going to wager this is actually going to be Watauga State Park, which is going to be only 40 miles out of some of the other locations that we do see and are more easily confirmed later on in this trailer. This is the first look we get at a town. There's really not much to take away from this. If you actually look to the right, it almost looks like this road goes down into a larger town. The road looks equally destroyed as it was in other games like Fallout 4. And it actually looks like that's going to be the New River Gorge Bridge in the background, which is interesting.
Life is all there, older than the trees.
So that little clip seemingly shows something interesting with the grass growing. It seems like that's going to be something they go with in the background of this game. You saw all that overgrown foliage, all the trees, things like that. A lot of the other Fallout games, despite the fact that grass would have probably grown over the amount of time that has passed, they didn't do it. And in this one, it seems like they actually are going to do it. They're going to make things look overgrown and just kind of not tamed. It's an interesting approach, but if they get it right, I think this might be one of the prettiest Fallouts we've seen thus far.
Younger than the
So the only power plant I could really find in the area and some of these other things is the John Amos power plant. So that could be this one. I mean, it could just also be a power plant that is fictional, created by the Fallout universe. But if you actually look at it, it looks immensely well preserved. That could be a really interesting location. You could also see a church down there, and just everything looks, you know, not pristine, like it's kind of been aged, maybe not cleaned, but I would imagine that power plant being the hub of a faction of some sort. It just looks like something ripe for that. And then just immediately close on screen on the right, it looks like there is some mining equipment of some sort.
mountains, blowing like the breeze.
So this part's pretty interesting because it looks more desolate than any other aspects of this map. And also here you obviously see a mutated creature of some kind. So this is really going to be interesting for a number of reasons. It seems like Bethesda is implying here there's a lot of radiation in this area. Unlike the other Fallout games, again, this is only 25 years after a bomb would have hit this place. So hypothetically speaking, the radiation levels would be much higher than the 210 years like Fallout 4 takes place after the bombs dropped. What that creature is, I have no idea. It looks like one of the baddies from Left 4 Dead, but either way, it looks really interesting and it looks really scary. It looks like it would have originated from something that is a humanoid or bipedal or like walking on two legs. So I don't know, there's a number of options out there. Maybe a gorilla. It kind of walks like a gorilla. At the same time, it looks nothing like a gorilla. Either way, again, I really like the design of this. I think it looks scary and spooky and something that if kind of came around you at a tight corner, you would be afraid of.
Country roads.
So again, switching back, now we are back to what is a seemingly totally preserved town. All these houses look in pretty much mint condition, no destruction on them. Think in your head, compare this to Sanctuary, where most of the houses are actually largely destroyed and in ruin.
Take me home to the place.
So I have no idea what this is, but it looks pretty interesting. It almost looks like a spaceship of some sort or something that might be in space. I could be totally offbeat, but if you actually look at the top there, is that like a thruster or something? I don't know. Maybe it's just an amusement park ride that went bad, but I couldn't find what real life location this would be from. It looks like it'd be something that's pretty notable though.
I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.
Alright, so this clip is really important. I imagine in only a few hours we'll get a confirmation of this, but it seemingly is confirming 3-player co-op. You see 3 different people walk over this suit of power armor. If it's not co-op or 3-player multiplayer of some sort, then that's some really weird choices from Bethesda, especially with all these multiplayer rumors going around. But with the multiplayer rumors existing and this in the trailer, I would say this almost confirms 3-player co-op in Fallout 76, which is pretty freaking awesome. That's something I'm excited for. It seems like it'll be largely single player, but again, we'll probably get a full confirmation later today.
Country roads, take me home.
For when the fighting is stopped,
So this shot obviously shows off a new weapon as well as some new armors. It looks like they're maintaining the weapon customization system, not that anyone thought they weren't, because you could see it's probably going to be a base standard fire axe, and now this has a customization on the axe part to be all spiky like that. And in addition, this fire suit, maybe they'll implement a new mechanic with like fire and being able to wear a fire suit. I doubt that. I'm going to speculate this is actually going to be in a mine of some sort, maybe one of the coal mines. That's a big part of West Virginia and it employs a lot of people. Because if you actually look in the background, this is inside of a structure of some sort, or at least it seems like it is.
and the fallout.
I actually can't pinpoint what this animal is. It looks pretty interesting and scary, probably going to be the equivalent of a mole rat that is in this game. Maybe it is like a more further mutated mole rat from Fallout 4. But something to note, in the background, this area obviously got hit pretty hard. I mean, there's a building and a boat on top. Something would have brought the boat from the ocean or the lake to this building, so what happened here? Obviously something dropped here. This is seemingly the state capitol complex, the West Virginia state capitol specifically. It has a similar gold roof to this, which kind of makes it stand out. And specifically the state capital of West Virginia is in Charleston, so Charleston confirmed, I guess.
Settled. You must rebuild.
So I'm pretty big loss for this one. Obviously some future technology of some sort or some hardcore industrial technology. Again, West Virginia has a lot of mining and things like that, so this could be tied with that or some kind of resource production, or it could just be with reclamation. Obviously a big theme with this game. Also, if you actually look in the distance, I'm not really sure what those are. They look like these kind of weird futuristic towers, not something you typically see in today modern times, so maybe something that is a byproduct of the Fallout universe. And I know you guys are going to love this one. If you look in this character's hand, they are seemingly holding an MG42 and wearing the combat armor that you see in Fallout 4. So that's pretty interesting. The MG42 is, probably something you've used in other video games. It's probably going to make a return in this upcoming Battlefield game. It was literally invented in Germany during, the bad people reigning. I probably can't say the name of them because I'll get demonetized. But yeah, so kind of a stretch. We haven't seen anything like this in Fallout before. Typically they go for pretty American things.
Not just walls, not just buildings.
And for this part, a lot of people are thinking this might have something to do with Mothman. It's actually like a legendary creature in West Virginian culture. There's literally statues built to him in West Virginia, which is interesting. West Virginia also has a lot of bats in the region, like most of the US, so it could just be a mutated bat, but I imagine they'll do something with that Mothman concept. In the Bethesda Game Studios no-clip documentary, they actually showed a guy wearing a Mothman shirt.
But hearts.
So something I noticed on this, obviously there's a church of some sort, there's all these kind of vines or wires around it, and it's pretty self-explanatory in that sense. But what is that thing on the right side there? And isn't it moving or something? I don't know. It looks like a robot almost, but I'm not really sure what's going on with that thing.
Minds. And ultimately,
this is going to be West Virginia University. It's kind of taking on a different layout here, but the design of that building in the background is literally identical to the one that appears at this university. In Fallout, a lot of times they'll take a real life university that is in the region, but not actually use its real name. Like in Fallout 4, I'm pretty sure it's CIT, the Commonwealth Institute of Technology, is really MIT or kind of based off MIT, but obviously they didn't call it the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They called it CIT. I'm sure they'll do something similar here, but the interesting part is the name is literally the state. It's the West Virginia University. So maybe they will reuse the name. Either way, that's what this is. And for context, it's like a 2.5 hour drive from Charleston, which we saw previously.
America itself.
And this is going to be the Greenbrier Resort. This is actually something we talked about in speculation videos. So in Fallout 4, if you raised a terminal, you actually got a new radio station called Greenbrier. Greenbrier is this massive resort in West Virginia, but in addition, under it is a massive bunker. That's the bunker that Congress and the president is supposed to go to in case of a real life nuclear threat. I'm excited for this because even though the Enclave and like the main hub of the Enclave actually went to this thing called the Poseidon oil rig and they didn't come off for 100 years, so they can't take place in this game because it's 25 years after. There are actually Enclave splinter cells, so some people that didn't go to the Poseidon oil rig, one of those such splinter cells will probably be located under this, so maybe we'll see the setting up of the Enclave in this game. Or maybe we'll just get to explore this really cool bunker that probably has a bunch of congressmen in it. And that was largely everything, so I personally found it to be a really cool trailer. I don't want to speculate too much on this stuff because we're going to get a confirmation or a not confirmation in only a few hours time. Either way, I'm excited. Again, I'm going to be live streaming very shortly, but that's my breakdown of this trailer. Either way, it's going to wrap it up for this video. As always, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.